and the teachers collaborated in nominating a honorable valedictorian. This year, Judah Bondy was chosen. Great name for this role because in the Bible it says, let Judah go first. So Judah's going to come and give voice, express for the class, be the class spokesman. So let's give him a hand as he comes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you to all teachers, parents, and relatives for attending the graduation of the grade 8 class of 2011-2012. My name is Judah Bondy, and I am honored to have the privilege of presenting the valedictorian address on behalf of our class. These past years have permanently stamped a biblically based worldview on our lives thanks to our education. We are blessed to go to a school where we do not have to worry about being mocked for our faith. Here we can talk about our Creator and worship Him freely, which creates a learning and growing environment. We can work through problems together and talk about the circumstances in our lives. In just a minute, I'm going to honor our teachers. But first I'd like to recognize the people who work behind the scenes and the founders of the school. Without these inspirations, this school would not be possible. The first are Pastors Steve and Beth. Thank you to both of you for investing your time and energy into founding this school. It has impacted many students through the years and taught them how they should live. You not only talk about God's Word, you live it. The results are very evident in the church, which has grown incredibly over the years, the school, and your lives. Thank you for being role models that we can look up to and say, I want to be like that. We all appreciate that. And the second influence, the same people that drive us to school, help us with homework, and sign those permission forms. Our parents. And if you do not think that your parents are influencing you, we are going to pray for you. Parents, without you, we would not be able to attend school, much less field trips or sports teams. You readied and prepared us for school. As we get older, we start to realize and see the value of being in a Christian school. Thank you for choosing to put us in a school that will help build our faith instead of undermining it. We know that there were probably more convenient and less expensive choices. You have shown us many times how dedicated you are to God. Now, on to our teachers. Thank you, Mrs. Scott and Mrs. Martin, for teaching us our ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, and how to eat lunch without taking up half the recess. You taught us the basics, and do not mistake basics for easy. Without these people to help build our foundation, we would never have taken our first steps towards the concepts needed for life. It is difficult to learn math without knowing how to count to 10. And guys, how would we survive as teenagers if we never learned about the 15-minute nap? Two other influences on our lives were Miss Gimble and Mrs. Collard, our grade 3, 4, and 5, 6 teachers. At this stage, we started to learn about concepts that we could apply to our lives and word problems such as, Mr. Lanking bought a watch for $17. How much less would a $6 pair of pants be? Thank you for teaching us not only about every subject on earth, but also life lessons and principles that help us to live as God would desire for us. Now, on to our grade 7 teachers, starting with the teacher of our French class. I would like to thank Mr. Francis on behalf of our class for making French very entertaining, even though it may not have been everyone's favorite subject. We all love when you use random accents in your famous Yoda voice, we do. And now we know how to close the door properly. Do not take your hand off the handle until it is completely shut. Anyway, I'm sure that our class would agree that there are 3 phrases we know very well. Écoutez et répétez, femme de force, and the famous passé composé. Our favorite French classes, though, are when we all get to go outside. Only when it's balmy, of course, as in scorching hot. Thank you again for taking the time to teach us, even if we were a bit more rowdy than the students in St. Lucia. Mr. Lloyd, we would all like to thank you for teaching us the ropes about science and how to weed out evolution and other theories that are not biblically based. You are an amazing teacher, even if you do cheer with the senators. And of course, we all love your jokes, especially the funny ones. And thank you also for telling us about concepts that we will not need until grade 11. We'll be sure to keep those in mind. most important question, like the number of chambers in a frog's heart. For the next teacher, I will say a word, and you have to guess who it is. Unbelievable! You showed us how to improve our athleticism. Also, we would like to thank you for being everyone's personal tackler at Fair Glen. We knew it was a risk to throw a snowball at you. We all paid dearly for our impetuousness. You encouraged us when we needed it and pushed us to attain beyond our personal best. You gave us tasks that you knew we could do, even before we knew we could ourselves. We appreciate that you coached many of the sports teams. Mr. Warner, oh man, you got an ear or what? Even with the full pass playing, you could still call one of us out if we played a note flat instead of natural. Thank you for putting up with less than our best playing at times. No. You helped us all to become better musicians. We appreciate your ability to contain your frustration when we kept on messing up on the same part every single time. You just helped us through it and gave us tips on how to fix the problem. You were an exceptional role model that we could look up to when we were frustrated. You also helped us to aspire to take part in leading worship. Thank you, Mrs. Friedman and Mrs. Sutton, for educating us on the art of drama. Now we know that you need to use every body part, including your face, to be an outstanding actor. We were able to do many entertaining projects and presentations throughout the year. For example, this past year, we made a music video to the song If We're the Body by Casting Crowns. We enjoyed acting and watching ourselves in the end result. Thank you for keeping us involved and showing us that drama can be useful in everyday life. The next teacher plays a very important role in our schooling experience. His name is Mr. Champion. Mr. Champion not only teaches us new lessons about how to live our Christian lives, but he also keeps the school running smoothly. As well, he usually teaches us every Friday about this year's themes, Purpose-Driven, Grace Empowered. In speaking on this topic, Mr. Champion was able to stress the importance of having honor in our lives. The themes Mr. Champion has chosen will stick with us for many years. I remember many of them, such as his story, Building a Culture of Honor, and Honor and Grace in This Place. Thank you for being so passionate about building a school where we can apply our life lessons that we have learned. That passion is very contagious. We can tell that you want to show people God's love and the amazing power it holds. Now, last, but certainly not the least, Mrs. Stevens. Mrs. Stevens, our class really enjoyed having you as our homeroom teacher. You showed us so many life principles that we were able to use. Not just ones that we can use later on in life, but also concepts that we can use right now, such as showing us the concept of trusting in God. We know that God is omnipotent, so why do we need to doubt that He will keep His promises? We can even apply our class theme, looking to God, reflecting His image. We spent most of our time during grade 7-8 with you as our teacher. It sure is a good thing that you always appeared joyful in the morning, because that set the tone for the whole day. You were able to make classes that were less than invigorating more fun, such as grammar, in which we were able to have special grammar days where we had to wear a specific type of clothing. Ah yes, good old grammar. Grammar is special. Seems to be the only subject that can have exceptions to just about every rule. Anyway, thank you for helping us to improve academically as well. I mean, I know that's your job and all, but you go the extra mile to make sure that we understand. Rather than just memorizing information, it was important that we understood the how and why. For instance, in math class, you made sure that we could comprehend the hypotenuse concept and why we might need that in life. The ability to understand will definitely help us later on in life when we are faced with challenges that go beyond the solutions we have memorized. So thank you again, Mrs. Stevens, for investing an incredible amount of time with us. And of course, we would like to thank you for putting up with those other unorganized students. I emphasize other because I know exactly where everything is. In the stack of newspapers under my desk. Well, let's give a round of applause to all of these wonderful people who made our education possible. Finally, I am honored to speak to my class. What a ride, eh, guys? We've had so many rollicking memories together. Capturing the flag and shaking the rope over the shark pit at Fair Glen. Wearing salmon neon salmon shirt. And discovering oak cheese that has been in someone's locker for a few months. And of course, chasing people with objects that smelled terrible because they were found in the aforementioned locker. There were, of course, the variety of interesting sports we played, such as kickball, jackpot, and foursquare. But it's time to move on. That's right. No more foursquare. Seriously. Would you not agree that we have been educated in an environment that has made us stronger in our beliefs? If we live out what we have been taught, people will notice our character. Whether you're going to this high school or another, we can all take what this school has taught us and apply it to our lives. Remember to look to God, then reflect His image. We can all be a light to the rest of the world, wherever, whenever. It might not be easy, but God put each and every one of us on this earth for a reason. It has been great to be inspired. Now let us go and inspire others to be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Jude. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that. I don't want to distract from who are really supposed to be giving honors tonight, but I can't figure out why the auto centers keep coming up in this grade 8.